Pittman. I'm executive editor at Cooking Light. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is actually a pre-recorded episode. I'm on vacation this week for my kids' spring break. Woo! And so but I still wanted to share a really fun idea for Easter. I'll be making these egg nests. They're so easy. I made these last year. We were actually at the beach for Easter, and our little condo rental had a muffin pan in it, and I thought, I can make the egg nest for Easter. So even away from home with not much equipment, you can make these adorable and delicious treats for Easter. So I'm starting with a muffin tin. This is, I'm gonna make 12. You can make as many as you want. And it starts with hash browns. So 1 pound of pre-shredded hash browns will give you comfortably 12. You'll see as I start putting the hash browns in the pan that the number of egg nests you get could vary a little bit with how much you actually need to fill the cup. So I'm using pre-shredded hash browns. So these, I'm talking about the stuff you buy frozen or the stuff you buy refrigerated with the convenience products. And normally I would love to tell you that you can use fresh potatoes that you shred yourself, but you know what, they don't work that well. I've tried again. There's so much moisture in them that they don't cook up right. There's something about these potatoes, I think maybe they're part cooked. They just work a lot better for this application, and they save you a little extra work too. So you just need a 1/4 cup of those potatoes in the muffin tin. Now, even though this is pre-recorded, we're not live. I'm going to try to anticipate your questions, and I'm going to ask the folks here in the studio to chime in with questions as you have them, if there's something that I haven't covered. One question that I thought might come up that I played around with today when I was prepping for this is, could I use sweet potatoes? So I took because it's a less moist type of potato, I took a raw sweet potato, shredded it on a box grater, and tried to make these, and it was kind of a disaster. It would be kind of hilarious to show you, but I actually didn't bring them in here because they were so kind of hideous. They burned, they were gummy on the bottom, so with fresh sweet potato it doesn't work. I don't know if they make sweet potato hash browns like this where they're kind of par cooked and they're really dry, but if they do, then maybe that could work. Okay, so I've divvied out, again, I'm working with 1 pound of shredded refrigerated hash browns. I divvied out about a 1/4 cup into each muffin cup, and I'm just kind of trying to make them into shells. So I'm just pressing down. What's going to happen is as these bake, so your oven's on 400 degrees, as these bake, they're going to kind of tend to shrink down into the pan. So try to get up over the edges some as you can, and just know they're going to kind of shrink up a little bit. I'm using a light colored metal pan. Now if you have a dark nonstick pan, these are going to cook a little too quickly, they might burn. So for any baking, actually, try to invest in a lighter colored muffin tin. It's going to give you better results. The dark pans just tend to overcook things. You'll find that your baked goods tend to maybe get a little burned. So opt for the lighter colored. Shiny aluminum is great. This is, I think, has a little bit of a non-stick coating, but it's a light color, and the light makes all the difference. Okay, so fun. We'll make a dozen little nests here. My oven is at 400 degrees. And you're going to bake this for 30 minutes. So this bakes in 2 stages, without the egg first and then with the eggs in it. So 400 degrees for 30 minutes. Again, try to get it to break the surface, kind of go up over the edges because it's going to shrink down a little bit as it cooks. If you want to make ahead step, you can't. It's not great to make them completely ahead and reheat them because as you reheat, the egg will tend to overcook. But you can par bake these shells. Again, we're going to cook these for 30 minutes at 400 degrees. You can do that step a little bit ahead. I wouldn't do it too far ahead, maybe an hour or 2 ahead. Okay, 400 degrees for 30 minutes. Okay, and then this is what it looks like when it comes out. So see how they definitely kind of shrink down into the pan. If you want to, you can sort of use your fingers to kind of spread it out or try to get a little more height in there. When it's really hot, that's hard to do, so let it cool off a little bit. Now, if you wanted to vary the flavor, you can mix in a little bit of carrot or a little bit of beets. And we've tried this, surprisingly the beets lose a lot of their color when it bakes. Don't use exclusively beets. You want to mix it with some potato. You need the potato for the structure. So make sure that there is potato in the mix, and maybe mix in, sorry, I need to reference some notes. How much? You could maybe use half and half. So half beet, half potato, or half carrot, half potato. The sugars in the sweet potatoes, I think, maybe mess things up. So like I said, I tried an experiment earlier with sweet potatoes. It was a hilarious disaster. Okay, so these have baked for 30 minutes. And now it's just time to crack eggs into each little basket. These are large eggs, and you just crack it in. There will be a little overflow, that's fine. Or there's likely to be some overflow, that's fine. See, it's going to break over the surface of the potato basket, totally fine. This is really fun because you can just pick them up and go. It's actually a really fun portable breakfast, even if you're not making them for an Easter brunch. It's a good option for breakfast on the go. And again, it doesn't really require any special equipment. Okay, so once you've cracked the eggs into there, you're going to bake it still at 400 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes, depending on how you like your eggs. If you like them a little loose, make sure they're still a little wobbly when you shake the pan. Let me put these guys in. Okay, 12 to 15 minutes, and then when they come out, I've already pulled some out of the pan, then you can embellish with some seasonings. So I'm just using salt and pepper and a little bit of fresh thyme. So I have some still in the pan here. Sprinkling on salt and pepper. You can sprinkle the salt and pepper on before it goes in the oven as well. And then a little bit of fresh thyme. And then just take a thin knife, just kind of run it around the outside edge. If you've coated your pan with cooking spray, it should release pretty easily. Perfect. And so my favorite ones are the ones where, like I said, like the little shreds of potatoes sort of break over the surface and kind of create this lacy effect. Those are nice little crunchy edges. You could also sprinkle with a little bit of bacon or crisp pancetta if you have that on hand. But they're really lovely. And see, some of the eggs, most of the eggs keep a little bit of the yolk intact. What I mean by that is it doesn't cloud over with the white. You still get that vibrant yellow yolk. I think I cooked these for 13 minutes. So, easy Easter baskets, no special equipment. You should have all of this on hand at home. It's a really fun idea, and everyone will enjoy their own little egg basket. And each one contains only 114 calories. So not bad. You can enjoy 2 or 3 and feel good about your breakfast. Thanks so much for joining me today. We will be back legit live next week, so please join me. If you're watching on Facebook, please like and share the page. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe so that we can let you know when we're going live. Thanks so much.